So my name is Jacqueline Twilley. I am the founder of Zero Gap, and we are a training and development firm based in Dallas, Texas. We focus on leadership skills for women who work in male-dominated industries. So we're talking everything from executive presence to negotiating business deals to negotiating for your career. We talk about risk, resilience, and reward, and everything that it takes for women to be successful, navigating the double bind of being assertive but not too assertive so that you don't get labeled anything. So the context of tonight's webinar is for women business owners. So we're going to be talking about some of the things that are effective and most successful business women implement when they're negotiating business deals. So we're going to start off with some basics, and then I'll give you some tactical strategy. And at the end of this webinar, there will be an opportunity for Q&A. All right. So if you have any questions, you can pop your questions into the Q&A section, or you can save those to the end. You can find more information about me at zerogap.co or JacquelineTwilley.com, and I'm very active on Twitter. So if Twitter is your jam, you can definitely send questions via Twitter as well. I do have my phone handy. So in business, information is power. The more you know, the more successful you are, because you're better able to make well-informed decisions. Now, if you're clueless, if you don't know what's going on, you can make a decision with the best information that you have at hand, but guess what? You can strike a good business deal, but is it the greatest? You don't know. So the foundation of a successful negotiation strategy, whether it's a $5,000 deal or it's a $200 million deal, is getting the information. There are 4 pillars that I focus on when I talk about negotiation strategy. The first pillar is preparation. The second one is preparing and practicing. The third one is your ask or your presentation. And then the fourth is deciding if you're going to accept or walk away. And y'all, the fourth one is powerful because you have to know up front when you're preparing that you can set a walk away point so that you know when it's time for you to take a step back and say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and move out of this role or move out of this opportunity because there's something greater. So we're going to get into that research in just a second. Let's start with preparation. When you're preparing for a business deal, you want to do similar to how you would for a job interview. Find out as much information as possible about the person you're negotiating with. For instance, what you can do is use LinkedIn, use Twitter, use Facebook, use the company website and press releases to find out what's going on with them. What are their interests? What's most important to them? And what are their business goals? How are you going to plug into that? Now, for you who do business to business, that's a great strategy. What about for my business owners out there who are business to consumer? Okay, where you're servicing a client and you're not necessarily servicing businesses. You want to prepare as well. Find out what your competitors offer. What are their rates? What customers love about them? What do customers wish they would offer? You know, when you're doing your preparation phase, you want to figure out your sweet spot. How can you add the most value to your client, whether that's a business or whether that's to an individual? And so you really want to play up on your strengths, okay? So in that preparation phase, really deep dive and get into all of the nitty gritty. What makes you unique? Know what separates you from everyone else. I've heard from a couple of business owners who didn't know that their competitors offered a similar service until they were in front of a client doing a presentation. And y'all, that's the worst position to be in because you think you got some secret sauce and then you find out other people do the same thing. So really do your research. I'm not talking about a 5-minute Google search. I'm talking about really doing a deep dive. Now in business, I like to use this equation for preparation because people always say, Jacqueline, how much time should I prepare for a business negotiation? I would tell you to give 1 hour to each $10,000, okay? So if you're negotiating a $50,000 business deal, spend a minimum of 5 hours on that deal. If you're negotiating something larger, spend the equivalent of 1 hour per $10,000. Now, if you're just starting out, you have a small business, and let's say the average cost of your sale is going to be $100, you still need to spend a minimum of 1 hour on it. Again, I cannot stress this enough. Information is power in business. The more you know, the better informed decisions you can make. The better you're able to position yourself in business, okay? So the second step is preparation. How are you going to prepare and put a package together? So with the preparation aspect of it, what you're looking to do is, as a business owner, be very clear about the services that you offer. A lot of times when we're just starting out and we're going from hobby to officially charging and having a business, we will still keep prices in our head. And that's not a good thing. It's not a great business strategy, because when the prices are in your head and someone asks you for something, you get a little bit nervous, and then you end up procrastinating and not sending them the rate or the proposal because you have to jot it down. Go ahead, as of today, what services do you have? What services do you offer? And what are the prices for that? Now, again, in your preparation stage, you can determine what to charge based on what your competitors are charging. So go ahead, create a price list, and then convert it to a PDF. PDF just looks more professional, y'all. So you don't have to give the nitty-gritty of what everything is included per item breakdown, but you do want to have a standard price list that you can share. Now, when we talk about price lists, the next thing that comes up is customers want discounts. So it's very easy to get caught up in somebody's story where they're telling you something so heartwarming, it's touching all of the heartstrings, and then at the end they tell you why they don't have money to pay for your service. Well, guess what? If you don't charge for your service, you're not getting paid. You have an expensive hobby, you don't have a business. You gotta collect the money, okay? So instead of giving people deep discounts, what I want you to do is come up with a few packages. How can you position your services so that you have a package rate instead of a singular rate? So for instance, if you're a photographer and someone comes to you and they want to know if they can get you for a full day for a wedding photo shoot, okay? They want you to come out while the bride and the bridesmaids are getting dressed. They want you to take pictures of that aspect. They want to take pictures before the ceremony with the groomsmen and then with the bridesmaids together. Then they want you for the ceremony, and then they want you for the reception. Okay? You might have a flat rate, a wedding day rate. However, your day rate may be $750. And this bride tells you her story that pulls at all of your heartstrings, and then she says, well, I only have $250. Y'all, a whole day's worth of work for $250? Mind blown. You can't do it. You're not going to be profitable, okay? So what you have to do is you can tell that bride, okay, for the $250 budget, this is what I can give you. Would you prefer that I come before, or do you want me to just get the reception, or do you just want me to get the wedding ceremony? If you have those packages up front, built in, you can let them know with your $250, this is what I can get you. Now, if you want to add on before when you're getting ready, that'll be an additional $150. And then if you want to add on the reception, that's another $200. But if you get the package rate, this is the discounted rate. You really have to spend time to really determine your pricing strategy so that you have every aspect of your pricing lined out and packages, so that when somebody comes to you with this story that makes you want to discount or drop your rates or do it for free, you can turn around and you have your business tools set in place to prevent you from doing that. Now, the other thing about the packages is, going back to our preparation phase, which is stage one, is understanding what's standard in business practices and business packages for your industry. You want to find what's going to make you unique. So you might want to offer one extra bonus that makes you separate from everybody else. You don't want to compete on price. When a client tells you they can't afford this or they can't afford that, the last thing I want you to do is start dropping your rates. I want you to be able to speak to the value that you add based on the service or product that you provide. Okay, so let me give you another example. If you make candles, you hand pour these candles, you're very particular about your ingredients. You use all organic soy-based ingredients. There are no carcinogens in it, so nobody's going to be getting bad chemicals as they're burning candles. You want to talk to your clients when they say, well, why is your 12-ounce candle $15? You want to be able to speak to what you ask them. Because of the quality ingredients that you use, your candles burn for 55 hours versus the standard 30 hours, whatever that is. But only you can determine that, and you have to know exactly what sets your product or service apart in order to do that. So if you don't have a spreadsheet or a document where you have that listed, you need to go ahead and create that as well. So I'm giving you a couple of homework assignments. The first one is to establish your price list. Once you get that price list written down, convert that to a PDF document. Your second piece of homework is create packages, okay? So that if someone says they can't afford the full rate, you can let them know you have a low end, a mid end, and a high end. So if they want all of the bells and whistles, they go to the high end. Having these tools, ladies, will prevent you from dropping your rates drastically when you hear those stories that pull at all of your heartstrings, all right? So the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to practice. If you've never said that your service was $5,000, you might think that you sound like $5,000, but in all actuality, you sound like this. $5,000? And if you're saying it with a question mark on the back end of it, guess what? No one's going to take you seriously. They're not going to think that you're worth it. And if they sense that you're not confident, they're going to question your competency level in terms of how you're going to be able to perform. All right. So really get down to the nitty gritty, y'all. Do the homework. Practice. When I say practice, what I want you to do is pull out your cell phone, video record yourself saying your rates and giving the pitch of your services. Okay. And then in addition to that, you got to play it back. This is the hard part because no one likes to hear their voice on audio or watch themselves on video. But you need to be aware of your body language because even if you're on the phone and you're not face to face, your body language can have a huge impact on your tone of voice. And your voice projects confidence over the phone. So be aware, are your shoulders back or is your body crunched over? Are you grasping both arms across your chest forming an X? You know, are you rubbing your shoulders up and down? Are you playing in your hair? Are you playing with the back of your neck? All of those things are a sign of nervousness. So the more you practice, the more you say your rates, the more you pitch your services, the more you're going to knock down all of those barriers so that you can present yourself as the competent businesswoman that you are. All right. Now, the next thing, you practiced, you listened to it, you went back, you made some tweaks. You might have to listen to it 2 or 3 times. Record yourself 2 or 3 different times so that you can get confident in how you sound. The next thing is you present your package, okay? Now, when you present to your client, you need to have the best presentation. If it's a digital presentation, you need to use high quality stock images. You need to have nice brochures. You need to make sure your internet speed and connection is high quality, fast, internet access so that it's seamless. If you're going to be over the phone, make sure that you don't have any distractions or noise in the background, okay? I'm not talking about a fire truck passing down the road. That's a separate thing. You know, those things happen. But I'm talking about don't go to Starbucks and try to have a conference call. You're going to have the music playing in the background. You're going to have people talking in the background. And you're going to have that coffee grinding in the background as well. Okay, so make sure that you're in an environment where your client can hear you clearly. In addition to that, when you're pitching, if you're pitching face-to-face, have your presentation on nice paper. People perceive heavier paper as a more polished approach. So it might cost you a little extra to have it extra glossy, to have it on a heavier cardstock, but it's worth it because you're presenting your image to the client. All of those little details matter, especially when you're looking to get paid at the top dollar for what you do. Now, I'm going to go back to the example of a candle maker. If you're making hand-poured candles, lady, and that's your business, ladies, if you're doing that, make sure that you have great looking labels, okay? Make sure it's packaged properly. Make sure that your receipts, when people get the receipt from you, whatever platform you're using, it has your contact information on it. Your packaging should have your website on it or phone number, some way where people can contact you. All of those things matter in terms of a business presentation and your negotiation. And you might be saying, well, why does my website on my label matter for negotiation? Well, if someone sees that and they love that product, you don't know if they are a major retailer or if they have connections to a major retail. That can lead to a bigger business deal for you. So it's every single element that makes sense. Now, starting off, you're not going to know everything. You're going to learn things with experience. Those things will build over time. But what's most important for you at this stage is for you to understand that everything that you can do, you're doing to the best of your ability. This is what I call emulating excellence. Emulating excellence does not mean being perfect. And I talk about this in my first book, Navigating the Career Jungle. Emulating excellence means doing 110% with what you have today. Does that mean you're going to be perfect? No. Does it mean you're going to do your best? Yes. You're not going to do just enough to get by. You're not going to be burnt out and tired and doing just enough. You're going to push yourself to give it all you got. So when you're thinking about your presentation and how you present your business deal, you want to think through every element as if you were thinking through a job interview strategy. How are you going to present yourself? How do you look? How do you sound? What sets you apart? What makes you the right person for the job? Those same elements you carry into your business negotiation. And then our last thing is decide. Now, once you present your offer to your client, you have to wait for them to say they want it or not. But you also have to know what you want or not, okay? And it's at this phase that you have to set that point in the beginning. In technical negotiation language, there is a term called BATNA. BATNA. And BATNA is an acronym for Best Alternative to the Negotiated Agreement. Having a BATNA allows you to regain your power. I said earlier, information is power. The more you know, the better informed decisions you can make. Again, if you have alternatives, you can make a more informed decision. Think about it, ladies. When you're in a position where you have other options and something isn't right, you can easily say, no, thank you, I want this. However, if your back is against the wall, you only have one option, guess what? You're more inclined to take it. There was a recent research study done by the Harvard Business Review, and they said if you don't have alternatives, if you imagine that you have an alternative, it increases your chances of getting a better deal because you're not making a decision out of desperation. So once you present your deal, if your client comes back to you and they say, you know what, I can't afford that $750 photography package. My budget is $250, so I'm going to go with the person on the Groupon. This is not your time to drop your price to $250. What you're doing there is you're going to devalue your product and your service so significantly that no one's ever going to come back to you when they have that $750. So you have to be firm on your prices. Yes, it's $250 better than nothing when you don't have any money. It sure is. But you have to think long term. You're not building a $250 business. You're building a growing, thriving business. And you have to charge appropriately so that you can pay your bills, so that you can go on vacation, and so that you can live your best life. So I want to recap with you all very quickly. The tips for a negotiation strategy is prepare, package, and practice. Then you are going to present, and then decide if you're going to accept it or walk away. So know what your walk away point is up front, okay? All right, so a few things here. One of the questions that I received was, how many packages should I create? Now, the number of packages that you create is going to be based on what's acceptable in your industry and what you offer. There isn't a magic number of packages to create. The most important thing here is going to be for you to actually think through every element of it. You want to have at least three stages of packages: a low end, a mid-range, and a high end. So if somebody comes to you and they want all of the bells and whistles, but they can't afford all of the bells and whistles, you're not going to give them that. You're going to give them the package that they can afford. The other thing that I want to emphasize here is the importance of knowing the value of what you offer, so that when somebody asks for a discount, you're not talking about price. You go to talking about your value. And that's the importance of having those packages. You don't want to start saying, well, I can take $50 off here, I can take $200 off here. You want to talk to them about what they want. And so before you quote any prices or you give anything, you want to have a consultation with your client up front. Having that consultation with your client up front allows you to understand what their needs are, okay? And you can tailor a package for them. Your consultation should be standard across the board. So if you don't have a preset list of questions that you're asking each client, if you're offering services. Now, if you're offering a product, this doesn't apply to you. But if you are a service-based business, you need to have a standard list of questions that you ask in each consultation. I recommend that you write this down and have a list prepared, okay? So that every client you talk to, you're being consistent. When you're building a business, you have to build systems and processes so that when you bring other people on board with you, it's easy for them to hop in and you're not this woman trying to wear 50 million hats. You can easily transition off. So go ahead and create that consultation checklist or those questions that you're going to ask. Now, once you create this consultation question list, do not, and I repeat, do not just start emailing this off to clients when they ask your prices. This is a part of your customer service. This is a part of your brand that helps you get paid top dollar by going that extra mile. All right, so don't email this to them. You're writing it down for consistency purposes for the back end of your business. You're still going to ask the people all of the appropriate questions. All right. And so this really helps you to understand what your clients need. So when they go to having any questions about your price, you can use what they've shared with you, what's important to them, as a way of reaffirming the value that you can deliver. So before we open up for questions, I want to talk about giving discounts. Do not be so quick to give discounts. And if you're going to give discounts, have a strategy. For makeup artists, I know some makeup artists call this a gift. So if they do a bridal party's makeup on a wedding day, they may gift the bride her makeup, or the mother of the bride her makeup package, okay? For people who have other services, they might do a buy one, get one free. You have to be very clear on what type of discounts you're going to give. But if you're giving the same discount every month on the 30th through the 2nd of the month, guess what? People are not going to buy until the 30th through the 2nd because they know that's your standard discount time. So if you're going to do a promotion or anything like that, be very strategic. Think about what's coming up. If it's July, are you going to do a summer promotion, a Christmas in July special? What does that look like? Is it going to be 20% off? Is it going to be buy one, get one half off? Is it going to be buy one, get one free? Is it going to be 20% off? Think through your whole calendar year promotions and make sure you're not repeating the same discounts or promotion month after month on the same calendar days. So those are a few things that I wanted to share with you all. I'm going to open up everyone's lines now for questions, and feel free to ask me anything that you want. However, I do suggest that if it's about a specific client or service that you offer, give me just enough details without all of the details so that we're protecting the innocent that you may be asking about, okay? And there's one person that I cannot unmute is Jerica. So Jerica, if you, oh, there we go. I got you unmuted. Okay, so go ahead, everyone, and we're open for Q&A. Nikki, are you there?
I am. I'm just like, I'm a little bit, not baffled, but I guess pleasantly baffled. I don't know what the adjective is that I'm looking for, but this is just like such good information. And I think that one of the things that helped me in negotiating was realizing that I kind of had to treat my business like a Neiman's. And just in the sense that like people who shop there kind of feel privileged. So I had to begin to treat my business like it was a privilege, and like I was interviewing clients just like they were interviewing me, as opposed to feeling like, oh, thank you so much for even considering my business, even though, you know, I still maintain that same humility, but it's just as much of a privilege for me to do work for you, whether it's business to business or whether it's business to outside consumer. So I think that that's one of the things that will help us build our confidence in negotiating, is to begin, like you said, to value our businesses and to place value on the service that we have to offer.
Absolutely. And you know, the important thing is when you're going through that questionnaire, you're able to identify your best clients versus those clients that want everything from you, but they're not going to pay you. So that's why it's so important to go through that consultation if you have a service-based business, so that you can weed out the clients that you love working with versus those that are not going to have a good working relationship with you.
Very true. Does anyone have any questions? You know, Jacqueline, I've known her for a couple of years now, but she just continues to impress me. So please take full advantage of this opportunity.
So let me give everyone my contact information.
I have a question.
Oh, go right ahead.
Hi, my name is Majida. I know you mentioned the consultation question checklist. I just wanted to know some of the questions you would suggest to have on that type of checklist.
What type of industry are you in? What type of services do you offer?
So products, also education.
Okay, so
I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, so if you're for products, you don't necessarily need to have a consultation question list. Let's say if you're making candles or t-shirts or handbags or custom clothes. For custom clothes, yes, but if it's a standard product where they're going to buy it, like a t-shirt or notebook, you don't need a consultation. But for your service-based business, for your educational services, you want to go through and look at what your competitors are offering. You know your industry inside and out. So you know the important elements that would help you service that client better. So what you want to do is make a standard list of the common questions that you need to know to service that client. And also on that consultation list, include common questions that your new potential clients ask you, so you can address all of those things up front. Really, with the consultation, you're able to set expectations and you're able to educate your clients. A lot of times when people want a discount, they want a discount because they don't know what the standard price is. But when you do a thorough consultation with them and you answer all of the commonly asked questions and you get all of the answers to the questions you need to provide that service to them, you can really set clear expectations. Does that?
Great. Thank you. Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So I want to give everyone my contact information. You can reach me at zerogap.co or jacquelinetwilly.com. Both of those will reach me. And if you don't have a standard price list and you need help creating a pricing strategy, or you do have prices but it's not in a beautiful format and you need help getting that together, you can absolutely contact me and I will help you do that. Now, pricing strategy is very important. I think a lot of people get nervous about the pricing strategy because they don't want to charge too much. But when you're creating your prices, you need to think about everything from the time it takes you, how much time you invested in your education, how much time it takes you to go to do this and that, pick up the different elements that you need to produce the service, your internet, your gas in your car if you're driving somewhere. All of those things need to be included in your pricing strategy so that you're not coming out in the red after you produce something. Do we have any other questions before we wrap up?
Hi,
I have a question.
My name is My name is Brittany. I have a question as well.
Okay.
Is it a smart strategy to, when you're going through that initial consultation with your potential client, to actually speak on what the industry standards are in regards to pricing, or stay away from that?
Again, that's a great thing to do, because again, you're educating your clients. A lot of times they don't understand what the cost is, which is why they want something cheaper. So you can absolutely, at the end of your consultation, do an education component where you're letting them know what the standard prices are.
All right, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Someone else had a question?
Yes, I have a question. Go ahead, Jerika.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you and ask if you can repeat your contact information again, please.
Yes. So you can reach me at zerogap.co, ZEROGAP.co. And my name is Jacqueline Twilley.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did someone else have a question?
Yes, I was pausing this time because I kept getting, yeah, so I do have a question. What, Jacqueline, would be your recommendation? Like, because I'm a makeup artist, my name's Marlisa, and a lot of times people have said a lot of other makeup artists that don't post prices on your website because, you know, you could have that potential client that could pay more as opposed to one that could be like somewhere around your baseline.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you recommend about doing that? Because I do have packages, I do offer packages,
Okay.
but I don't post any of my prices on my website.
Yeah, and that's a personal preference, but I do work with a lot of makeup artists, and they don't price their prices on the website. They don't list the prices. And the reason why is because they want to have that consultation with the person. With makeup, there are so many different elements, and you don't know what their skin condition is. So I do think for your industry, it is a wise decision for you to put your information up there. They can contact you for a free consultation, but you can give them your prices afterwards, because if you have to do more work on a person, then your rate will need to adjust. So I do think it's a wise strategy that you're using right now to have that price list set, but not sharing that on your website. For your industry, I think that's helpful. Do we have any other questions?
Doesn't look like it. Well, thank you all so much for logging in and participating tonight. I hope the information was valuable to you as it was to me. We just want to thank Jacqueline for lending her time. And again, if you didn't get her contact information, find her on Twitter or Instagram. I posted and tagged her on the Business Over Brunch page. So yeah. So let me know you all's feedback. Again, this is the first time we're doing Business Over Brunch in these forums. So if you'd like to participate in more of these informational webinars, please let me know, along with any topics that you would recommend. Again, if you guys have no further questions, then thank you. Have a great weekend. Celebrate the dads in your life, and I hope that you guys' businesses grow as a result of the content that was shared tonight.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.